you need and desire. So we have a really awesome workshop for you today, taught by Kerri Birkley. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Kerri Birkley has worked in and around the electrical industry for the last 20 years. Christian has always been passionate about the challenges that come along with trying to live a healthy lifestyle, even when life itself or injuries create setbacks. Because of Young Living and the vast opportunities that everyone can have, Christian has been blessed to leave his field of employment to be home full-time with his beautiful wife, Kerri, and their 3 amazing boys. Christian finds fun and passion in pushing others to achieve their health and fitness goals, all while promoting the benefits that go hand in hand with the Young Living lifestyle and its culture. So let's give him a big, warm welcome to the stage, Kerri Birkley.
Steps are a challenge still. Hello, hello. Can everybody hear me okay? Let's make sure I can work this clicker all right. How was everybody's Thanksgiving holiday? All right, I got it figured out. Disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I am not a professional trainer. I am giving you my personal testimony, personal experiences. I know there's some kids in the audience. Some of the testimony I'm going to give, I'll try to keep PG. Has to do with some of my health history. I'm going to talk about my family health history and kind of my journey and how I ended up where I am. So I grew up in Independence, Kentucky, about 15 minutes south of Cincinnati, Ohio. Come from a very good family. Great support from my mom and dad. Always provided everything that we needed. Church-going family, for the most part. Just had a really good, good traditional American upbringing. My high school years, I was the atypical high school kid. I was adventurous, I was athletic. I loved chasing after the females. I loved partying, probably too much. Towards the end of my high school run, I had a lot of soccer scholarships. I had Columbine offers to try out for professional soccer teams. And that was about the same time I kind of lost my way. Unfortunately, I started getting into the party scene a little bit too much. Started drinking too much. Started dabbling with other recreational products that were obviously no good for my health. And kind of lost my way. So as time progressed, I've always worked. I started working when I was 14 years old. My father grew up a farmer, had a construction company, sold the company, ended up taking a position with UPS, retired for 35 years. Strong work ethic. So I had that, thankfully, and that somewhat kept me stable. I guess in certain ways it probably was harmful because I was the non-atypical addict. I always worked, which means I always had money to buy whether it was alcohol or other recreational things. So as I lost my way, cruising into my 20s, soccer scholarships and all that went down the drain. Taking different jobs in and out of certain careers, just really had no bearing on life, had no direction. By the time I was 25, I was diagnosed with a swollen liver, had a mild heart attack, and I'd broken my back once. Shortly after, because of irresponsibility, I didn't have insurance. I was off my parents' insurance, so the burden was mine, even though that they were being good parents and trying to support, pay for some of the things that I needed. I didn't want them to pay for all the burden. So I had to file bankruptcy because of the massive amounts of doctor bills that come along with breaking your back. So once I recovered, I spent about 18 months in a turtle shell the first time around. During that time, I became hooked on prescription pills because I was numbing my pain, amongst other things. So that was another downfall with my injury. Got to change slides. But that was another downfall from my injury, just losing my way further. I think it was roughly 3 years after injury, I kind of gathered myself. I was able to clean myself up somewhat, and I got myself back to what always made me feel good, find purpose, and that was chasing after my health, exercising, going back and playing sports, just being athletic. For me, when I'm on a field playing whatever sport it is, if I'm in a gym, it gives me good balance, it grounds me, it gives me purpose. And I love that challenge of pushing metal, hearing metal clank in the gym, the camaraderie, the challenge that you face when you're playing other opponents. So this went on several years into my 30s before I really got myself straightened out. So as of today, it's been over 14 years sober from recreational. I actually completely quit drinking. It'll be a year on New Year's. Even though I haven't drank much in the last 4 or 5 years, but I decided just to hang it up altogether because I decided that my life and my health and my family was worth it. So my presentation today stems from some of my health history, some of my family's health history. I mentioned my pops, strong man, stern man, never really drank, didn't smoke, did everything right. Pretty much ate somewhat healthy throughout all of his life. My mom provided good meals for us. Everybody on my dad's side had died of some type of cardiac arrest by the time they were in their mid-50s. So she always kept our nutrition and diet in mind to reflect those problems, so my father wouldn't have that type of issue. So my father, 66, doing pretty good, no heart issues. Like I said, never been a drinker or smoker, diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver. Ironically, that's one of the problems that I had with all my adolescent drinking, et cetera, in my 20s. My father was also diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which I really didn't understand because he's always maintained somewhat of a decent nutritional plan. I know we snuck the occasional McDonald's burgers growing up and some of the fast food that people like. I think about 6 or 7 years ago, he was going in for his pre-op for his second knee replacement, and his blood levels came back inconsistent, so he had to go see a specialist for that. Through all that, he was diagnosed with CLL, a form of cancer. So thankfully, it's a non-progressive form of leukemia, and at this point, he doesn't have to do any kind of treatment. But he has to go in every quarter, have his blood work checked. So he was kind of dealt somewhat of a rough hand of cards, even though he kind of did things by the book. So this is kind of what stemmed some of the information I wanted to go back and just look at because of his health conditions and some of the adversity that I faced in my lifetime. So I started dabbling within the CDC. And if you look at these statistics, 6 in 10 Americans have one chronic disease, 4 of 10 have at least 2. Heart disease, cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's, You know, all of these, I'm sure we've all been impacted by some family member has been affected by these. And it's a very unfortunate circumstance. One of the major chronic diseases stems from obesity and diabetes. Ironically, this chart goes back to 1994 when I graduated high school. If you just look at the change in color from 94 to 2015, the last time the census reports were done, look at the dramatic change that we've had in diabetes in this country. And what's the reasoning for it? I'm sure there's a lot of different answers, but it all really stems back to our nutrition. Mr. David talked about it this morning. He was talking about the quality of the soils and the plants and the products and what Young Living does to provide such an amazing product. And that's the issue with our food in general in this country. So our food lacks in nutrients. It lacks in what we need to live a sustainable life. Our foods are filled with sugars. Lots and lots of sugars. Most of us have a sugar addiction and don't even know it because of the synthetic sugars that are produced and put into our food. We as parents and as adults, we're supposed to be role models. And I know most of us put forth a great effort to do that, and it's not always easy. Most of us in here are probably parents, right? Parenting's tough. Stresses of life make it tough. If you look at some of these statistics, 4.8 million people, or 4.8 million kids, from 10 to 17 were diagnosed as obese. In 2015, 18.5% of kids between 2 and 19 were diagnosed as being obese. That's pretty much saying the same thing as they're in the pre-diabetic stages. Pre-diabetic, I believe the ranges are between 5 and 6%. When my dad was diagnosed, he was actually at a 10%. So his levels were pretty much off the chart. And at that time, my mom just did a 360 on their, their intake of food and really changed up their diet. And now he's down in the mid-4s. So he made a drastic change just by changing his diet. Something else that's alarming, if you look at what is spent just in medical care in children alone, $14 billion in healthcare costs related to poor nutrition or malnutrition. So going back in relation to my father being a cancer patient, I lost my grandpa on my mom's side, who was very dear to me, from lung and stomach cancer. I lost my grandma on my dad's side from lung cancer. Now, these weren't necessarily related to nutrition. Both were smokers. Both of them took handfuls of pain pills. My grandmother on my mom's side was a very obese woman. From the effects of being obese, she had severe arthritis. Her mobility was cut to bare minimal. I remember, I spent tons of time with her, but I remember just the amount of pills that she had to take, just to be able to survive. blood pressure pills, pain pills for the arthritis, a pill for this pill, a pill to take that pill. So very dear people to me were lost for different health reasons. And that's why I like to discuss this. If you read further into what the CDC says, by 2030, a 45% increase in cancer. Now, there's tons of information from various scientists out there. We know that the herbicides, pesticides, contaminants, chemicals, all these products that are being used are root causes. So the importance, as David mentioned earlier, you have to take time, you have to read labels on the back of ingredients. You have to learn and understand what you're intaking into your body. We only have one shot at this life. And the idea is to put forth all the effort to make yourself the healthiest, best version of yourself so you can serve others, so you can be a great parent, a good mentor, and live life to the fullest. So I found this on Facebook. As I mentioned, one of the main problems with our food is the amount of sugar that's in all foods. Mountain Dew is the one thing I can't get my dad to kick. And look at the amount, 19.25 teaspoons in one Mountain Dew. What do you think that does to your blood level, your insulin levels, your digestion system trying to process all the synthetic sugar? We wonder why there's a lot of mental issues within this country. I believe because of all the sugar that's going to be a part of it. Because our mood's constantly changing, energy levels are negatively shifting up and down. So while I was doing a little bit of research and just trying to figure out exactly my topic and what I wanted to talk about, I typed in this sentence. If some of y'all want to pop this sentence into your phone, it's kind of humorous what you'll find. And I cross-checked it on 3 different browsers and pretty much got all the same results. Anybody in the back or on the end, did they pull this up on their phone? There's a microphone in the back if you want to grab a microphone real quick. If you want to, you don't have to. And just read some of the topics that came up in that search in relation to the quality of our food. Any takers?
58% of people's calories is processed foods.
58% processed food. I believe there were some other things there in comparison to European food, talking about all the processing.
10 foods you didn't know were genetically modified.
I'm sorry?
10 foods you didn't know were genetically modified.
Right, so there's all kinds of alarming information in there. Can you believe everything that you find on the internet? No. But if you dig into it, you'll see that a lot of the information is true. The food in our country is overproduced. It's produced at a higher rate. Scientists figured out that they could man-make a lot of this stuff in the laboratory, and they can put your lasagna in a cardboard box and you can have it ready in 5 minutes. I know it's not easy to make sure you provide good whole foods for your family every day. I know we try. We go grocery shopping. My kids call me the food Nazi. Cruising through the aisles, they're grabbing different snacks, sugary cereals, granola bars, certain things that just have way too much sugar. Dad, all you ever say is no. So you have to find some compromise and eventually say yes, and concede to a couple of the things. But it's a matter of reading labels, trying to familiarize yourself with the products and the food that you're actually putting into your system. So the other crucial thing that goes along with being a well-balanced, a healthy individual, as I said, this always brought me back from addiction, various injuries, with some form of exercise. As I explained, I love being in the gym. I love playing sports with my kids. I know at different times when I wasn't exercising, I had excuses like a lot of people do. I'm too busy, I don't have time. In a lot of circumstances, that's true. I know at times I was working multiple jobs, work a lot of side jobs, trying to be a full-time parent, a husband. When I got really serious about my health again about 4 years ago, I started working out at nights. I had a home gym in my garage that I used to collect dirty clothes and tools and stuff for years. But I finally decided that it was time to take charge of my health again. Our family was growing. Said I need to be a father that's around for both my wife and my kids. And I just refused to have the dad bod. No offense. But I just refused. So I started looking up, just trying to figure out how much time the American consumer does have. And I didn't look up how much time we spend on social media, because I know most of you business builders, it's all done on your phone, so I didn't want to nitpick too much. But if you look at these statistics, 2.8 hours of TV time per night per individual. Is that enough time to get a 10 or 15, 20-minute workout in 3 days a week? Doesn't have to be in a gym. Got a bike, take an evening stroll with your significant other. Make it a nightly habit, or dedicate a few nights a week. One, you get the quality time with that individual or your kids. You can rollerblade. You can go for a jog, swimming. We have a pool, but it's not heated right now, so I'm not doing too much swimming. Whatever that looks like, take the opportunity to try to work some type of fitness into your life. Some of the things that happen, your body appreciates it when you start supplying yourself with good whole foods and you start to exercise. You can control your weight. You can combat different health conditions. Type 2 diabetes can be controlled and can be eliminated with proper nutrition and exercise. Things that I battled my dad with still. Said, I got plenty of exercise all the years that I worked. I'm not going to do it. I think my dad's biggest problem still is portion control. You'll boost your energy levels. What are we all chasing? More energy, right? Sucking down zings, popping a couple nitros, trying to keep our energy levels up here. Exercise can help you do that. One of the other key ingredients to maintaining a healthy lifestyle, you have your nutrition, you exercise, but you also have to maintain a good sleep schedule. Sleep is very, very important. In terms of what I try to do, I love bodybuilding. I love the challenge of what it takes to sculpt the human body and grow muscle. So the importance for sleep is almost as important, if not more important, than my nutritional intake. You do your work at your gym, you condition yourself, and you're trying to grow muscle, but muscle actually grows at nighttime when you're sleeping. So during your exercise, as far as weightlifting or powerlifting, you're actually creating micro tears in the muscle fibers. And then where the nutrition comes in, your nutrition is used to refuel, restock your glucose, provide the protein, carbohydrates, help maintain and support your energy levels. But you grow, your muscles grow at night. Your body needs that good REM sleep so it can recondition itself. Number 7, I added in, it's a great social gathering. How many of you are business builders for Young Living in here? Awesome. Take that opportunity. If you go to a gym, if you go to a dog park to take a walk, it's an opportunity to meet people, present what you do. You just may have your next sign up. You might find your next best friend. So here's some of the things additionally that occur when you combine the two, your whole food nutrition and your whole effort exercise. Balanced digestive system, stabilizing your blood sugar and your insulin, increasing your immune system. We're in that cold and flu season. It's important that we keep our immune system up so we can fight off some of that gunk that goes around. Cardiovascular health. That's the #1 killer in this country. As far as chronic diseases, heart issues. Your heart's a giant muscle. When you perform some type of rigorous exercise, you're training that muscle. Ideally, that muscle is going to become stronger, and over time, you're going to have a lower resting heart rate. What does that do? That makes you less susceptible to heart issues, heart attacks, strokes. The more conditioned your heart becomes, the more blood it pumps into. First, the right side of your heart pumps blood into your lungs. It gets oxygenated, goes back to your heart. Left side pumps it out to the rest of your organs. It's pumping oxygen-rich blood into your other organs, allowing them to perform all the duties necessary for you to live a healthy lifestyle. In terms of powerlifting, running, bodybuilding, various types of exercise. TUT stands for time under tension. When you're working out and conditioning yourself, you're contracting that, whatever muscle group it is you're working, you're contracting that muscle. And what that does is that forces more blood into that particular muscle group. The longer you hold that position, most of your movement should be slow, and you try to isolate that muscle group to force that blood there. That will cause a chain reaction of events to that muscle group. One of them is going to be the micro tear, as I mentioned earlier. That's going to allow more muscle fibers to regenerate over time and build more muscle fiber as a whole. So I put this chart up here. There's different forms of training depending on what kind of goals you have in life. This determines your heart rate, the percentage of your heart rate, heartbeats, your age, and the type of training. Prior to my injury 17 weeks ago, I tore my Achilles and 2 ligaments in my right ankle. I'm 43 years old, and I train between that 80 and 90% percentile I try to keep my heart rate in that 165 beats per minute range. When I'm doing any kind of lifting exercises, I'll do short burst, heavy sets to try to keep my heart rate up. When I'm doing cardio training, I don't focus on distance, I focus on my heart rate because I want to maintain that level. There's various ways to exercise. As technologically advanced as we are today, you can get on your smartphone and there's a lot of free apps on there, which would be your personal trainers. You can basically map out your entire plan of your goals that you want to achieve, all from your smartphone. There's an app called MyFitnessPal. I use that for nutrition. When I really got serious, I wanted to figure out what I needed as far as my macros go, protein, carbs, and fats, so I can hit my goals. So if you go into there, you can implement the things that you're eating, your age, your target goals, and it's going to break it down in categories. And it's going to give you a ratio of the foods that you need to eat. So then what you can do is you can go into a library and put the types of food that you're eating, and it's going to kick back all the macros from that particular food. So then you can really hone in what you need, what you're intaking, in order to help you achieve goals. So this just made me smile when I stumbled across this, why I threw it in here. Who doesn't want to be happy and healthy? We all came to Young Living for a purpose, right? Some of us came here because maybe it was a financial opportunity. Some of us were attracted just simply because of the smell. Maybe a little bit of both. Some of us got involved in Young Living because your wife said you had to. Any other guys here forced by their wives? Been there, done that. But as I said, the idea is bringing your nutrition and a little bit of fitness together so we can live the most abundant and happy and healthy lifestyle that we're able to. It's not fun when we're sick. It's not fun when we have to take care of others because they're sick. We do it because we're compassionate, and because we care about people. No one sets out to be unhealthy, but we have the God-given choices to make every attempt that we can be toward working towards our health and our well-being. Now, how does Young Living tie into all this? When I got serious with my health and my wife forced me to participate in Young Living, the first year I wouldn't use the products. I wouldn't even look at them. Financially, I said, we can't afford it. We're on a tight budget. That stuff doesn't work, I'm not going to do it. And we also were involved in another MLM company, which I was partially jaded. So my sister-in-law snuck the kit to my wife. Behind closed doors, they were sucking down their Nixta, taking their supplements. So I saw the impact it was having on them. Our oldest son, Tristan, had a skin issue, severe skin issue. Former business partner of mine was a dermatologist. Prescribed different prescriptions, medications, etc. It's always a temporary relief. Never a permanent fix. Took him to another dermatologist, second opinion, same end result. That's kind of how Young Living came into our household. They have been talking amongst themselves. I was not included in that conversation. But the Nixta was a part of the starter kit. Or I think the Nixta came a little bit later. I'm not exactly sure. But nonetheless, 30 to 40 days of my son taking the Nixta Red, no more skin issues. So stubborn dads in the background noticing, but I'm not giving in. Maybe a little, but I'm not telling my wife I'm giving it. So I think this went on for probably about a year, but I saw the impact health-wise that it was having on our kids. I noticed that doctor expenses, common colds, and all those things, kids go to school, come back, contract a cold, already nose, stuffy nose, whatever, less doctor trips, things of that nature are all beneficial to our family. So, roughly a year, I started sneaking an extra red. I only took a half a dose. I'm like, I'll just take 1.5 ounces, she'll never notice. I think there was even some late nights I had to wait till everybody went to bed before I could sneak out and take it. So that's how my journey started with Young Living. A little while later, ended up on this big boat called the Global Leadership Cruise. It was 3 years ago. Man, you got all these people smiling, smelling good, looking good, feeling good. And man, why are they so happy? And the whole boat was Young Living people. So as I got to meet more people and learn a little bit about this community and figure out everybody's involvement on different levels, I'm like, man, this kind of makes sense. Why not live happy, healthy, an opportunity to work yourself financially free, take vacations around the world. And then the next deal sealer was going to a farm. My first farm I got to go to was on Golder Street. We went to Idaho and Washington. How am I doing on time? Golder Street. Got to go up and meet Brett Packard. He spoke a little while earlier. Got a private tour up the Idaho farm. That was another deal sealer for me. Getting back into health and nutrition, I wanted a product that I knew that was clean, that was healthy, a product that I knew I didn't have to have any concerns about. You see the passion and commitment that goes into their farming, to the people that work there. It's a no-brainer. So a couple of the supplements that I incorporated over time, and I didn't start these all at once. Like I said, initially financially we couldn't afford it. So I'd get one supplement, it would be a few months later. Wife made a couple good sales, got some commission, built up OGV, earned some of those bonuses back, was able to work in some of the other products. Amino-wise, this is a product that anybody can use. This is literally for anyone, including your kids. The one thing that happens when we do any kind of strenuous activity, even a hard day at work, I spent a lot of years working out one of the things that we all deal with is your soft tissue, this connectivity tissue between your bones. I know when I don't take my BLM, my knees are the first thing to remind me that you're missing that. The first time it happened, I couldn't figure out what it was I was missing because I take a fair amount of supplements. And then it dawned on me I was missing that out of my regimen. So now I make sure I have extra. But this is a product that everybody can benefit from. Any kind of aches and pains, strenuous activity, labor-intensive work, sports players, whatever you've done over the course of your lifetime to create that wear and tear. Sulfurzyme. I know a lot of you women take this for your hair and nails, right? This is another way you can get a dose of wolfberry powder, which is one of the key ingredients in extra red. Multitude of reasons that I take this, specifically because of my addictions and things. Something I've always focused on was trying to cleanse my liver. Sulfurzyme is a great product that supports proper liver function, helping your liver to regenerate itself. Master Formula. Any of y'all product users? Master Formula? So if you're new to supplementation, this is a great, I call it a gateway supplementation because it's an all-in-one. The nice thing, one, it's prepackaged, comes in a little sachet. There's 4 capsules in there. The benefits from this: cardiovascular, cognitive, your immune system, the chelated minerals in there, they're fast absorbing, provides good gut flora in your stomach. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but when you have a healthy gut, your immune system is working properly. Your gut actually communicates to your brain. It's called the gut-brain axis, and it communicates via the vagus nerve. So when we're providing this good gut flora and these enzymes in your stomach, it can metabolize food properly. Your brains get the nutrients and oxygen that it needs to communicate to the rest of your functions. Makes for a happy lifestyle. Super B, going back to chasing sustainable energy. This is one that I swear by. I actually stopped taking this one when I tore my Achilles. I don't really have a reason why. I just a little bit off my nutritional plan. You know, you kind of a burden when you're laid up in bed and can't perform properly. You know, you're dependent on the wife 1,000,000% of the day, and your in-laws thankfully come over and help. So I finally started taking this one again about a month ago, and my energy levels have started to sustain again. I take this one in the morning with a protein shake, and then I'll take this one after lunch. For me, what I've noticed, if I take this after 4 o'clock, then I have a hard time sleeping, going to sleep that night. B vitamins are also essential for your digestive system. They are also crucial for hair and skin growth, soft tissue growth. Very, very important vitamin. And you get all 8 of them all compacted into this one. And as you know, all the Young Living supplements are infused with various oils. So for you guys that say, I'm not going to do the oils, if you take a supplement, well, it's got oils in it. That concludes the supplements that I had. I could talk all day about supplements, nutrition. You know, another one in regards to, I'm not sure how many meals you guys eat on a typical day. I try to do 5 or 6 meals, and then I do healthy snacks in between. Our protein, Young Living's protein is fantastic. Got the chocolate, the vanilla spice, 25 grams of protein. You can use this throughout the day. I drink mine with water, sometimes with almond milk. I don't remember the carb intake, but I know the carb level is really, really low on this, so if you're going for a low carb diet, it's one that's very beneficial. I can't keep our kids out of it. It's another product that they love. But this is my supplement schedule. And I have to put it on paper, and I use a vitamin tray, and I put reminders on my phone because my short-term memory is a little bit rough.
It's an oil for that.
Correct. I think I'm about out of time or out of time. I don't know if I'm allowed to answer any questions. Does anybody have any general questions in regards to supplementation or... Tough crowd. The only other thing I wanted to add in regards to supplementation, these will work when you combine them with proper nutrition. If you live nutritional-wise, your intake is, you're sucking down Diet Cokes and McDonald's French fries and cheeseburgers and every other day and things of that nature, your supplements are not going to have the impact that they should. You need to combine these in addition to healthy nutrition and intake. You cannot out-supplement a bad diet. Last chance, no questions?
On the amino-wise, why do you take pre-workout? And then I get during, isn't it like muscle recovery, so wouldn't it benefit to take
I take it typically during and after. I believe the instructions are for 8 ounces, 1 scoop, 8 ounces. I actually do 1 scoop, 16 ounces, because it's a little sweet for my taste. So it's really good, it's just a little sweet. So I break mine up during and after. But yes, the idea is recovery drink post-workout. But you're going to be drinking water while you're working out. I like to drink a little amino-wise so I can get those cells to intake. I saw. That's my daily.
Okay, so you're eating a regular whole nutrition meal plus drinking a protein shake?
Absolutely. Prior to getting injured, I was intaking about 300 grams of protein a day. My diet, for what I was trying to accomplish, I was stuck at 184 pounds. I want to get to 205. Once I get to 205, I want to cut. I'll go into caloric deficit, lean out, probably lean out around 200 pounds, we'll say. So for me to get there, what that app called for, my nutritional intake, I needed 3,300 calories. It was roughly a 50-40-10 split. 50 grams of protein, 40 grams of carbohydrates, 10% fat. So this was in addition to the food I was eating.
What's the duration of your workout? How long?
Prior to getting injured, 2 hours. And that included about a 15-20 minute warm-up session. Right now I'm only working out about an hour, 3 days a week. You don't realize how important your leg is until it doesn't work.
What is some food that you eat for breakfast? Like good ideas?
Food I eat for breakfast?
Yeah, like how you say I love food.
Gee, honey, what do I eat every day? My day starts off with oatmeal. I'll do oatmeal, scoop of protein in my oatmeal, protein shake, banana usually, I'll throw that in there, and then take my pre-workout on the way to the gym. When I'm done working out, all the pros say you want to eat 30 minutes to an hour after your workout. That's your anabolic window, as they call it. So my second breakfast consists of 6 eggs, a cup of rice, usually broccoli, kale, some type of greens, get a really good carbohydrate with a little bit of additional protein in it. I can eat chicken, rice, and beans 7 times a day. My kids are like, oh my God, Dad, not chicken again. But that's just me. Anyone else?
Besides your master formula packs, what probiotic?
I actually don't take the Life 9. I probably should, and I have at times. I've not been consistent with that. I've never had any kind of stomach issues, even through all my negative adolescence and things of that nature. I'm sure I had inflammation and things caused from excessive alcohol and stuff like that, but knock on wood, I've had somewhat of an iron stomach, as they say. So I just used the master formula. We went to Ecuador for Platinum Retreat a year ago. One of the things you get to do is go to the clinic over there. The way that they treat medicine and do things over there is quite a bit different. But we got to see the doctor over there, and they diagnose everything from your blood panel. So they actually take your blood and do live blood cultures, and they'll go through there and break